Hello hunters, it is Ebontis here, and I wanted to clarify a couple of things just as you're going through running out in the world, killing monsters, what a reasonable loop of course will be, but also pretty much mainly the way you're going to have activities to go do out in the world. So you guys have seen the quest board by now. If not, I'm on the trade floor or the trade yard on the first level, and there's also one up by the workshop on the second level. They look like this. Now these are the things that are going to send you out into the world with specific tasks. If I run over here and I just want to run out on an expedition, that's just free roaming, no time limit. There will be, certain large monsters out there. You may see them leave after a certain amount of time, but there is no time limit. So you can just wander around if you need to gather a bunch of stuff, if you just want to see where some things are at, just your way to explore. So expedition is usually just your way to wander around. Pretty much with no time limit, no specific purpose. Quests usually have a purpose and they have different themes to them. So let's go over what they are. First, we've got assigned quests. Now, these are going to be assigned quests that are specifically going to be story-based. They're going to be something to move the story along. You notice they kind of progress in levels. First one you start out with is that one where you slay 7 Jagras, just the basic low guys. Then the Keistodon Kerfuffle, then you hunt a Great Jagras, and it, goes from there. So those are going to be your story progression to move along. Now, something to keep in mind, I was holding on to this quest for a little while. I'd done the Puke hunt, but what I was really trying to kill was a Anjanath. That's kind of the big T-Rex looking thing that's kind of dark maroon. Now, I was having some struggles with this. Some people may not. You could just say I'm a noob, whatever it is. I'm still learning. But I was having some issues just surviving the attacks. Sometimes it would just, be a bit much. So I'm still learning the weapons. I probably didn't pick the easiest one, but I do have a lot of fun with the switch axe, so that's what I'm using. But after I went through 4 more story missions, then it told me to actually hunt an Anjanath. If you feel like there's a monster that is sometimes over your head, something like a, mini dragon or a flying Wervin or whatever those, I don't know how they're classified yet. They look like small dragons though. If you see those and you're like, hey, I want to take one on, but I'm just getting my butt whooped every single time, it's likely you need to progress the story because something is going to unlock, be it the canteen is going to allow you to eat a bigger meal that's going to give you more health or something like that. There's going to be some new armor unlocked. Whatever it may be, there may be some progression part of the game that doesn't let you hunt something that's really just kicking your butt. So keep that in mind if you ever kind of feel like you're hitting a wall for some reason. You're like, I want to fight this guy, but I just keep dying. I did that. Every other thing in here was doing all right, and I kind of avoided the big dragons, but the T-Rex was killing me. And then finally, I went through the missions, and it was, a lot more reasonable. So sometimes it just may be that. So keep that in mind when you're going through and progressing in the story. Sometimes it's just necessary. If you're worried about like blowing through the game, trust me, you can do infinite investigations if you just want to go hunt monsters, but sometimes moving the story along will help. Optional quests are, think of those like side quests. They're something that maybe a specific vendor needs you to go do, somebody out in the world needs you to do a specific task. Whatever it is, I've got one right now I know on level 3 that is a prickly predicament. So in the Wildspire Waste, which is more the desert type looking area, even though there's a giant flowing river, I have to deliver 20 bauble cactuses. So pretty much I need to deliver those and go hunt them down. So that's just a quest for me to go do. Sometimes it's, here's the current situation. This is one where, hunt a Toby Karachi, hunt a Barrow, hunt these random different things, and these are going to be all at this level. I've done them all, and some of these tend to be like part of what the story tells you to do. They might be like, hey, here's this. Okay, in the middle of this, go hunt this thing. So you may do these things anyway, and then come back and see them completed. You're like, I don't remember specifically like picking this optional quest. It's probably because you did it anyway. But sometimes they'll have certain ones that pop up from a vendor. This is a delivery quest, for example, and you've got something to do. So this potentially is going to unlock something over at the research and the botany area. So this is something that's worthwhile, but you don't need to repeat. Now, my current armor that I'm wearing is Great Jagras armor. So you feel like, sweet, I can go hunt the Great Jagras over and over, do it a couple times, get the materials I need, and build me a full set and a cool weapon. If you're going to do that and you want to go do anything that hunts a specific target, there are better ways to do that. These have just pretty standard rewards. They have not very many modifiers to them, and they're pretty straightforward. You don't get any bonuses really for doing them extra. So keep that in mind. If you want to go hunt a specific animal, there are better ways to do that, and that's where we come down to investigations. So, story quests, optional quests, which some you may just kind of do throughout the story anyway, and then other ones are going to be like side quests that'll kind of unlock some other things maybe. investigations are your way to basically activate a specific hunt, a specific task. Now, I have some chosen, but let me show you where you actually do that. So right over here, I'm on the trade yard level. So right over here at the resource center, you're going to want to select any of them. They're all going to talk to you, just kind of random, I feel. So you've got two things. I'll come back to bounties because those are also important. But investigations are basically modifications on kind of the optional quest. It's going to say, hey, hunt a great jaguaress, or hunt whatever it is. So here's hunt a great jaguaress. So the money's a little bit more. I think it was 1,800. Now I get 1980. Now this one only has 30 minutes, so this one may be a little more difficult. But below you're going to see rewards. Now those are going to be different tier depending on time, difficulty, and a couple modifications of things. Those are 3 silver level rewards. For example, when I did one of these when I hunted a great jaguaress, the silver level was like 2 of a type of something from it. So it's the rarity of the reward, like say it's the tail, or it's a nose bone, or a claw. Whatever may be harder to get, you may have a better chance at getting those. So there's bronze, there's silver, and then there's also gold tier rewards. Right here, you can see them all. So this one has a couple cool things about it. So this one has, this is Tobi Kadachi. I can have 4 people, 2 players max. I can faint 3 times. That's your limit. That's pretty standard on most of these. You're going to get 3,000 money, just because this is a harder monster to fight. I have 30 minutes to do it, so it's not quite as time forgiving as your standard 50 minutes. But my rewards are 1 bronze, 1 silver, and 1 gold. So there's bonuses to all these. Now, if you put a check mark next to one, you basically register it. So when I hit R1 and I go over to register it, these are all the ones I've registered. Most of them are great jaguaress, so you guys can see the difference. These are great jaguaress, great jaguaress, great jaguaress, great jaguaress, great jaguaress. All these have different modifications to them. So this one, for example, I get 2 silver rewards. I have 2,300 zenny coming. I can faint 3 times. And in the locale information, it says mushrooms are flourishing. And it also says remaining attempts 5 if you look in the middle at the very bottom. And then over there on the left-hand side, you'll see left and 5. So basically, that's the number of times you can repeat these things if you want to. If you're going after a certain set and you're like, hey, this one's cool, has nice bonuses, and I need to go farm mushrooms, so, some reason I need to go do that, which I'll cover in a second. This will help that as well. But this one over here is a little different. Still hunt a great jaguaress, but I can only faint 1 time. So that's your exclamation. I only have 15 minutes, but I get the same amount of money, but I get 2 bronze and 1 gold reward. So you have 8 times that you can run this one, so if you don't do it, it's a little more forgiving because the time limit's there. The upsurge is in bone piles, so there's either more of them active or you get more from them. Still haven't quite tested that, so I need to do that at some point. But all of these are different ways. Basically what I can tell you, all of these are better ways to go hunt for your set than just going out there and doing an optional quest over and over with no bonus rewards. You can see this one right here has 3,000 zenny, still 2 silver rewards. It has 50 minutes to accomplish, and you can faint twice. So pretty open, decent rewards, decent chunk of money, and you get 2 of the silver rewards. So all of these are pretty much up to you. Just as you go through and pick them, keep that in mind. So here's, 3 different ones for the Puke Puke. This is a different one. I've got 5,000 money since that one's boosted up, 2,000 money here, and 3,000 here. Now this one only has a 30-minute time limit. You can faint 5 times, but if you faint 5 times, you're going to probably have trouble with the time limit. But you can only repeat it 3 times. Usually the 3s are involved in gold rewards most of the time, unless it's bronze. But it seems like the 3 is going to be a silver and a gold. So you've got 3 attempts. You've got silver and gold. Time limit's only 30 minutes, but you've got a boost in money on this one. Huge boost in money. So just figure out what's most important to you. If you're like, hey, I need some money right now, let me go run this investigation so I have 5,000 zenny. You're probably good for a minute. Do this a couple times. Hey, I'm working on the specific thing from the Puke Puke. It's a little harder for a drop. I get scales all the time, but there's this one nose bone, and I need 3 of them. It's a little harder to get. Try something with a gold reward. You're going to have a higher chance to get a rarer item from that specific, monster that you're killing, and that's going to be a way to help you complete sets or work on specific things that you're trying to farm for. Silver's kind of the middle road. You might get that mid-level tier. You might get multiple of them, but again, just, gold is going to be your best. Bronze is your basic. So depending on if you need money, if you need to go gather things, if you need bone piles, mushrooms, whatever, figure out what you need, and register those. And when you go back to the board, you can pick them. If you unregister all of them, you won't have any to pick from. So if you have anything you want to pick, register just one and then go over there. You don't have to have 10 of them checked. I just do right now for happenstance and example. Now, there's one other thing when you go out in the world that you want to make sure you have active in there, your bounties. There's something you don't have to like kick off, basically. It's anytime you go do anything, these are things you can work on. Now, I just got done doing something, so I had finished 3. So I have 3 available. So what are my options here? Well, you got research progress, you got an ecological survey, usually capture or hunt something, and you got field research, which is easy. Field research is as follows. Mine 15 times at mining outcroppings. Each mining outcropping you get 3 mining, so you just have to find 5. Now this doesn't have to be in one run. If you do, 9 mining, times on your first run, then you go do it on your second one, that's fine. From this, you're going to get 120 research points. That's one of your 2 currencies besides Zenny. This is another one you can use. You also get an armor sphere. Now this is an armor sphere plus just because I've kind of bumped up in progression, so now I'm getting these armor sphere pluses. And these are better because they take more attempts for me to do. The first mining outcropping was like 6. It was like 2 mining things and I'm done. Now I have to find 5. So it's going to be 15, strikes at mining instead of 6 strikes at mining. So it takes a little longer, more to find, but better rewards. So I can activate that one. It's usually easy to do. Mushrooms. This one I've already got active. I've got 3 of 8 mushrooms. I've got 100 points waiting and an armor sphere when I do. Now, one thing to keep in mind, I can switch this out if I want to. But if it's not one that's checked off, like if I haven't come in here and literally chosen it already, or usually it's probably when you kind of leave and then come back to town, they're going to be different. But if I want to like replace this one, I can. But as I'm already partway progressed through it, I don't want to, take that one out of there. So come down here to an empty slot. And this is one, complete 2 quests in the Ancient Forest. Whether it's a quest, a side quest, an optional one, an investigation, they all count. See if you got some hunting to do. Kick this one off, and it'll just, once you finish 2, quests out there in the Ancient Forest, you'll be good to go. So I can throw that one in there. This one says I need to complete 2 investigations, the things I was just talking about. So there's a purpose for those. Now, these are specifically all different things. So ecological surveys can be captures. As you guys can see, capture 1 large monster, flying wyvern capture, or brute wyvern, which I'm guessing is kind of the bigger mini dragon looking things. I have to hunt 2 of those. Now, you're going to get better rewards from it because they are more difficult. But again, if you have something specific you're going to go work on, be like, hey, I want to go hunt a Rathalos. Make sure you activate this one so you get the benefit from it. You just might have to do it one more time so you can finish this off. But if you know you're going to go capture a monster because you've got some capturing to do, then you could do this. Now, I have this capture right here, but I also have this capture right here. And this one seems to be more recent. This will be kind of a test. I'll actually do this at some point. I want to activate them, and I do want to go capture a monster. So fight a monster, wait till it goes to sleep, and then capture it, and then honestly see what I can do if this will kick off both of them. So I will test that later. You guys can see. You've got field research. You've got research project progress, which is usually just doing specific quests or investigations, gathering, and then either capturing or killing. So those are your options. Just make sure they're always full. Kind of important. Then you got your critical bounties. These are ones that are just going to come from either somebody you found in the world. They want you to do one specific thing. They're nothing you're going to activate, choose to activate. They're just going to be there. Once you finish it, it's finished. So they're just going to be kind of a running list. Limited bounties are exactly that. They are time limited. So typically they're going to be a weekly bounty. So I've hunted Great Jaguars a lot. So I have a full set. So I've definitely killed 3. I've already got my rewards. Now here, I've got 4 Anjaneth to hunt. I'm 2 down, 2 to go. I'll get 400 research points, which is a good chunk, and I'll get 3 armor sphere pluses, which is nice because those are even a little better. The flying wyvern, these are the, I think, mini dragons, but you're going to get 500 research points if you do this one, 3 armor spheres, and a silver wyvern print. So, cool stuff. I don't know what the prints do yet. I'm still learning. General limited bounty. If you finish all 3 of these, then you're going to get this stuff, the research points, the print, and a silver egg, which I don't know. Now, I haven't killed any flying wyvern yet. I don't know if I'm far enough along to be able to handle those, so this one may not happen for me this week. I have 2 days, maybe 1.5. We'll see. But if I can finish it, I will. So make sure you have your registered bounties always fully completed. Like if you go out and you do something, make sure you come back, swing by the resource center. Just make sure your bounties, if you finished any, you'll get your rewards, and then you can always activate some more. So always make sure you've got those done. So, managing investigations, The little sidebar about bounties, I apologize about that. Let's go back over to the board. I covered most of it, but now I'm going to show you guys just some of the details. So, hunting investigations, as I said. So these are all going to be great Jagras over here on this page. All of them are, but you'll notice they have different variations. So this one has mushrooms that are flourishing. I get 2 silver rewards, 1 bronze. I have 15 minutes to do this one. So you have a lot of attempts to do it, and I can probably go kill one in 15 minutes because I generally know where one of them is going to be at. So I can probably do this one. But if you pick one that's 15 minutes and you don't realize it, and then you get in there and you're like wandering around farming, and all of a sudden you have like 5 minutes left, you're like, oh crap. So just pay attention to the time, pay attention to your modifiers of money and rewards, and just kind of pick the thing that's going to benefit you the most. If this one has 2,300 zenny and 2 silver rewards, that's not bad. But this thing down here has 3,000 money, a silver and a gold reward. I still have 50 minutes, and only difference is that I faint twice instead of, well, even once. So honestly, this one is just like better in pretty much every way. So make sure you do this one. You don't have to do every single one of these investigations, and you can go in there and delete many of them. I've done that to some of them. I'm not going to hunt Great Jagras 20,000 times. So find the one that you see the most rewarding and do that. If as you're hunting and you're gathering scraps and checking footprints and all these things that are going to get you these investigations, you get a new one that's more profitable, stop doing the old one and do one that gets you a silver and a gold. Again, this one gets me less money. I can still faint twice, but if I'm going after certain parts, the silver and the gold have a better chance to get me specific parts from that monster. So, investigations are pretty much the way to go if you want to go after those collections, because you get those bonus rewards and you'll get them quicker, and hey, you can get better money, whatever it is. Finally, you've got events. These are basically timed events. Now, it doesn't say timed in here, but they're actually what is active. So if you go to like the Monster Hunter wiki, basically, you'll find that the events currently that are active are these 2. We've got Chew the Fat, which is basically you can have players go out and you can hunt 2 Great Jagras. Now, one's usually fairly easy to find. It's pretty much in that first area around 2 and then in its cave. The second one is typically going to be farther up, either in 6 or 7, somewhere in that northern area. So if you find one in an area, you've got to find 2 of the same thing. It's not going to be hanging around the same area. It's going to be a different zone. So don't keep checking thinking a second one's just going to reappear. Go check somewhere else. Now, I'm actually not ready for this one because I have to be rank 6. So it says Hunter rank 6. I have to go kill 8 Barnos. Now, I've killed a couple, but honestly, I haven't done this just as a event to go do. And this is one I'll get to later. So I need to level this one up. This is actually, I think, for the Horizon Zero Dawn stuff. So this is the one I definitely want to make sure I get leveled up enough so I can go try and do this one and get that Horizon Zero Dawn. This one goes through the 8th, I believe. I wish they kind of had a date somewhere, but it's out there. So Google it and you'll find it. So again, these are just timed events. I think this one goes away in a few days. This one's got probably 5 more days after that. So to sum up, you've got story quests, you've got side quests. Sometimes like a vendor needs something and you might unlock something by doing that. So try and knock those out if you've got ones you haven't done. If you want to go farm that certain set of armor, you can do investigations. And then events are going to be those time things. So check them out if you haven't done it. I've done this one once, so I mean, I don't need to redo it. But this one I definitely want to do, so I have a chance to get some of this other stuff. So, final reminder again, just make sure you run over to the resource center every time you come in, turn in your bounties, make sure you have your bounties activated and registered, and if you need an investigation, this is the place to do it. So good luck out there, hunters. I hope this was helpful for you guys and kind of an explanation of what to do and the best ways to go do specific tasks, whether it's go on an expedition and just wander around with no time limit. If I want to go make a Great Jagras set like I'm wearing, well, do the first optional quest. If you don't have any optional quests that have Great Jagras that you haven't done, then go find an investigation and you'll be good to go. If you don't have any investigations, maybe go on an expedition and start tracking a monster, and then as you track enough footprints for a while and things like that, you'll unlock investigations, and I have so many of them because I just keep tracking that stuff. So that pretty much covers it for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this was helpful. I know it's a lot to cover, but again, there's things about this game that are not simple, so I want to make sure I clarify as much as I can for you guys. If you did enjoy the video, likes below are definitely appreciated, so drop one of those below. If you have any questions, comments, want to see more, any specific tips, let me know as well. You guys know where to find me, twitch.tv/Ebontis, twitter.com, Ebontis, and right here on YouTube. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, I will have plenty of content coming your way, so hit that one and that alert bell. That'll let me know. You will get notifications when new videos come out. But good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, wherever you guys are at around the world. Have a good one. I'll see you soon.